Right, so let me set the scene here. 2020, COVID comes in, and I just do my degree. It was like a movie degree, but I didn't have any internships lined up. I was doing some on and off odd job of casting esports matches, but I had absolutely no social skills. I had one friend group from high school, and we were going out maybe once a month, or had like $200 to my name from coaching esports. Yeah, just absolutely nothing going for me. I looked terrible. I watched porn every single day, absolutely no exercise. And so, yeah, life was definitely over for me. 2021, I hear about NoFap while looking for some mentality, mindset coaching for one of my one-on-one clients. And I decide to give it a shot. It's just so ridiculous, the concept that you could get better by not watching porn. This was me before starting NoFap. At this point, I've already started like experimenting and like not watching porn every day. Instead, I watched porn like twice a week or 3 times a week, trying to make it in sync with my Muay Thai or kickboxing practice. And yeah, so this is who I was before starting NoFap, right? So just it's a bit of a nerd, like still, quite skinny, absolutely no muscles, playing a lot of Counter-Strike. So I used to be a semi-professional in Counter-Strike, playing with the team. Like this is me playing in a boot camp with some of my team I was coaching, and I was I think in-game leader in this specific one. Yeah, things were not going so well. Okay, like let me zoom into this because this is a more realistic picture, right? So this is what we're working with, guys. Like just so you're able to understand what's going on here, right? It's absolutely terrible style. At least I had clothes that somewhat fit me, but it's terrible hairstyle, completely done eyes. Although for the record, this was taken at like 3 a.m. But yeah, just always very low energy, as you can see, like basically sleeping. It is very hard to find any photos of me not sleeping or not being like super low energy. And then there's this one. So this is my physique before. So I was 22, 23 in this picture as well. So this is the physique I have at that age, which is like, this is a very, very good photo. This is me right before. This is like 2021. Like right before I quit, right? And so, yeah, this is October, as you can see, and I quit late October, and this is like day 0 basically. So this is, again, guys, this is what we're working with here. So a 23-year-old guy, absolutely no muscles, fucking pathetic ass, like, eyes circled all the way in, extremely low energy. It's a bit earlier of a photo, so this is 2019, so I'm 19 here, right? Look how skinny I am. This is crazy. And it's not like I had a growth spurt either. I stopped growing when I was around 15, 16 years old. Like I played basketball, and then I had a growth spurt and I stopped playing, so I stayed at my height. I'm 6'2". This is me at 19, like always on his phone when he's out, playing computer games all of the time. Yeah, so yeah, again, yeah, just low energy. Even like we're having like the trip of our lives with my friends. We're doing like road trips and stuff. But that's really all of the social life I have. That's really all of the fun I have outside of gaming and binging YouTube and watching porn, right? So this is like, it's pretty over. Like at the party, like good looking girl over there. I don't want to trigger anyone, but like, come on, like I think you get the vibe of what was going on back then, right? Super low energy, like just so like feminine and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, this is the before. So let's jump into when I quit. So this is me. This is April. So as you can see, immediately, like the massive shadows from my eyes are gone. I have the genetics for dark eyes, for circled eyes. But as you can see in this picture from, what is that, half a year on NoFap, the circles are gone. The eyes are actually open. I'm not like half asleep all of the time. This is like a massive upgrade from where I was before, right? So that is month 4 or something like that. Yeah, just cleaning my room, you know, having a better setup. I mean, it's very basic, but it is what it is. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any job at that point. Like, I have to remind you, I was 23 years old or 24 at that point. 24. I had absolutely nothing going on for me. It was absolutely 100% certifiably over. So let's continue into 2023. Unfortunately, there's not much footage of this, but this is me in Switzerland. So the backstory behind this is during NoFap, after 1 year I found a girlfriend and we had loads of fun, and it was a very wholesome relationship, but she was an older girl. She was my first I was a virgin at like 23. I told you, it was over. But I found a girlfriend, we had a lot of fun, and yeah, she broke up with me after some time because, well, frankly, I didn't really have anything going on for me. I didn't really have a job. I had a few teams I was coaching in Counter-Strike and a few individuals, but that was about it. So after the breakup, I actually realized, shit, I need to make some money because these women, they don't want to fuck with me if I don't have anything, and I can't even go out on a night out like once a month or once every 2 weeks. So I went and did some work where I am an extra in a movie to get some money that way. And at that time, all of my friends were going on like internships, university, like Erasmus and stuff, and just like working abroad. And so I saved up all that money, and instead of dating, I went to like visit these places around Europe where my friends were staying. And then I even put in like a 2-day trip into Berlin, which none of my friends were staying in Berlin. I just wanted to like experience being abroad alone and seeing how that goes. And so this is me in Switzerland, swimming in a lake. And as you can see, my physique, based on what you've seen earlier, significantly better physique. I'm still like quite skinny, but I don't look like a kid anymore, you know. I've got some development of something. There is something there. It's not completely over. I've had lots and lots of social time back then. So the reason I wasn't working or like I wasn't big on making money is because I was catching up with getting my first girlfriend or like having sex for the first time, starting like seriously to work out, doing Muay Thai, and socializing a lot because I missed all of that. I did not socialize at all. I was somebody who did not go out. Maybe I went out once every 2 months with my friends because I would just play and practice with teams and there would be some banter and some socialization within that, but I didn't really have time to, or well, I did have time, I didn't have energy perhaps because of porn to do anything else. And so I was catching up on that. I was at a lot of parties, like trying to level up my non-existent skills with girls. The first time I went to the party, to like a proper party, I was like 24, I think, or maybe I was just becoming 24, and I remember it like hit me like, wow, this is great, like, wow, all the emotions and everything. I thank God that I quit porn when I did, because I was still able to sort of experience these things in my early 20s, which was like, it's sort of still young adulthood, right? If I were to quit at like 27 or 26, I'm 27 now. If I were to quit now, it would have been too late. I feel like now I'm not feeling like going out every week and just drinking with the boys and talking to some girls and stuff. I have different priorities at this point, right? So I'm really glad that I was able to quit when I did. So this is me in 2023. This is, I think, in Amsterdam. Yeah, as you can see, like this guy looks a lot better than however I was looking like just about 1.5 years before that, because this is in the summer. So looking a lot better, looking a lot more vital, somebody who has energy, and it is just different here, right? And yeah, I took shrooms in Amsterdam, extremely fun experience, learned a lot there. But then came the big question. So what the fuck was I gonna do with my life? Because I was certainly not disciplined, right? I was definitely not disciplined. And so I needed a lot of discipline. I was somebody who had pride in the level of achievement I got from Counter-Strike. But after I quit Counter-Strike, shortly after starting NoFap, because I realized, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Playing video games the whole day and I'm not really getting paid any money for it. I was watching a lot of social media content back in the day, a lot of Hamza, whatever. Who was back in the day? I think Andrew Tate was a thing back then, maybe not yet. But I was watching all of these self-improvement channels and trying to sort of decode how to live a more productive life. And then I came across 75 Hard, which was exactly what I wanted. It was like a 75-day challenge where there's absolutely no room for error. You have to do a couple of simple things plus 2 workouts. You have to like drink a lot of water as well. And so these are the pictures, 75 Hard. I started in January. So this is how 2024 started. I started in January. This was my physique. Hold on, that's my face. I mean, again, face like looking a lot leaner. Again, nothing crazy, but like the circles around the eyes are like long gone at this point. And so physique, like as you can see, even though I was doing a lot of Muay Thai, and you can see like I have abs, but they're like not there at all. There's absolutely no chest. There's absolutely no back. Got some arms, of course, from all the punching and stuff, but yeah, it's just nothing. Like it's not aesthetic. It may be functional. Like I at this point, I could probably, if I were to face this guy, I would be actually pretty scared because I haven't fought in like a year. I haven't practiced, and yeah, at this point, I was pretty good. I put all the energy that I had from esports, from playing Counter-Strike, and I put it into Muay Thai and into like dating or like having a girlfriend and stuff. I also got my license at this point. And so I started in January, and for me, the 75 Hard actually took over 90 days because I had to restart. And so this is me towards the end, right? So this is late April. And oh, I look terrible. I was extremely overtrained at this point, right? But as you can see, like significantly bigger back, significantly. I would go and do pull-ups every single day. That was one of my workouts. And so I developed serious back muscle. I also developed a beard, which wasn't really possible for me before. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the hormones being a little bit better, because I don't watch porn for, at this point, 2 years. But hey, maybe, yeah, as you can see, like the physique, this is with better lighting. Like I don't know what the goofiest watch is, but like I have some development. I almost have some abs, but not quite. And so it's like I'm looking lean at this point. So yeah, things are starting to look like it may not be completely over for me. During 75 Hard, I started reading because I was forced to read 10 pages every single day. And I read a book called Unscripted, Escape the Rat Race. And I have tried applying for jobs before, but since it was completely over for me, I had like a bullshit degree in some like filmmaking. I couldn't actually get into interviews at all because I was like overqualified. Whatever, it's a long story. I really didn't know what I was doing at all with my CV as well. So what happened was I decided I want to be an entrepreneur instead, because I wasn't really keen on working for other people anyways, and I wanted to do YouTube for a long time, and I haven't done it since I was 16. So I sat down and I started recording videos. So I'm not gonna show you the full thing, but yeah, as you can see, like it's me just trying to do stuff. Like I'm actually like something's happening, you know? Like I have this extra energy, like I'm doing stuff, I'm going out, I had some friends and stuff as well at this point. And so yeah, we're having lots of fun. I'm also learning new things, and I decided that I want to help guys quit porn. So like, yeah, this is gonna be a good idea. I could make content, I could coach them. And so what I've done at the end towards summer is I went down to a lake house that we have. It's like a very like communistic era place, but it was loads of fun. And I actually got my first client. I look very crazy here, but look at that, like I was extremely lean. I realized my parents were sort of holding me back with their like negative, unhealthy behaviors as well. I was considering going back to my parents because I got so sick and I couldn't eat for days. So as a result, I got extremely lean. So I completely cut unintentionally all the muscle that I had. And so at this point, I signed my first client actually like right that day. Like this is the picture of me celebrating. And I started coaching. Yeah. So I also started booking, which will be interesting in how 2025 goes. But as you can see, it's already like it's mid 2024 and it was completely over for me. And I went from like absolutely having no future into having like, you know, I don't have anything, like you can't grab it. Like I don't really have a job or an income. I have like one client at this point, summer of 24, but like I'm ultra lean and I look vital, right? It's like, you can see like this guy could do something potentially. So that's 2.5 years. That's a long time for me to get started on this. But it took so long because I started so low, right? That's the big takeaway here. Like, don't expect the compounding effect to kick in within the first year unless you do crazy stuff. Like I did 75 hard at the end of at the start of the second year. And so that was definitely something that helped the compounding effect speed up. And maybe I would have only gotten to this point after 3 years if I didn't do 75 hard. Yeah, so even one of my friends, one of my old friends came down and we shot some like B-roll back in the day. So maybe I would need it for YouTube. I actually never really ended up using these. Now I've started using them and now it's really happening. But you know, it's like some random stuff. But when you compare, when you compare this to whatever was in 2021, like this guy is like, at this point, I would say like this is a completely different person from the guy that you saw in the pictures who was 24 years old, right? I'm 26 here, 24 back when we started the journey. Completely different person, doesn't look 18, 19 anymore. And so then the YouTube began. So at this point you could just watch my videos back, but I'm gonna save you the effort. Then during 2024, I applied to a master's degree in marketing in order to leave my parents' place and be able to live away from them, perhaps maybe with a roommate, but it doesn't matter. The point is to be able to focus on my business and my progress, because I felt like during the last 2 years, although I did improve a lot, I was like really being held back by my environment at that point. And so I did a lot of videos back in that era. That's where I did like some daily videos about like No Nut November, different types of urges. That's when I really solidified my knowledge on like, you know, different types of urges, what are the best replacement habits. And yeah, we did daily No Nut November and then these NoFap day 1000, whatever. I just calculated how many days it has been since I started NoFap, and at that point it was about 4 years into it. So yeah, so 4 years into it, I was bulking extremely. Like I actually got fat because I was so motivated to gain muscle, and I got very motivated to actually start bodybuilding, start lifting weights, because I saw that people react to me with more respect if I am bigger weight. So I got super motivated there and did a lot of videos. Some of them actually did decently, but I didn't feel good because one of the key principles of being successful on NoFap is not counting the days, and I was clickbaiting with the days, so it wasn't actually 1,197 days into it, like into a streak. And it's also, yeah, it was just a negative, it was a negative thing, and I didn't feel like continuing that. So yeah, that's me in this thumbnail. That is me at my skinniest, around 8 to 9% body fat. Now keep in mind, I didn't train abs here. That's why my abs look so tiny. But yeah, I was like ultra lean. And so that was the end of my cut during summer. But then at university, I got very distracted from coaching, and I didn't really find any success there, because although I was outside of my environment, I was distracted by another thing. But I did enjoy socializing. Unfortunately, not the same way as I did before. So before 75 hard, I was more of a degenerate. I would drink a lot. I would like go out, stay up late. I wouldn't call that degeneracy, whatever. It's like I would enjoy socializing more. But after 75 hard, something just changed in me, and I don't really enjoy drinking every weekend, going out and staying up until 3-4 a.m. every time. Like, sure, I still might go to the odd festival and drink heavily there in order to have fun, but it's not like on my bucket list to do that anymore. Back in the day, that was the big thing about life. Oh yeah, I did 75 hard again. Oh, by the way, that's a massive thing. I did 75 hard again, and this time it hurt me instead of helping me, and I couldn't really deliver enough work to get new clients. And so sure, the clients I had at that time were like enough to hold me over, but 75 days is like 2.5 months. And so within that time, most of my clients actually stopped watching porn and were successful, and then they had no reason to stay, right? So I ended up like having almost no clients, and then yeah, my consistency and motivation suffered. So the takeaway here is something that helps you to get from point A to point B might actually hurt you to get to a different point in life. Still, I was recording loads of videos, but I didn't get the views that I was looking for. So at that point, I realized that I can apply for a scholarship to study abroad, and not just abroad, but in a better place where I was living, like in Hungary. It's not the most advanced country in the world, let's just say. And I actually applied to study in the Czech Republic. I won the application. So now it is 2025. 2025, now I'm abroad. And again, it's 1 year difference from the last time where I was like super skinny. 1 year. But things are speeding up, you know, and yeah, that's current. That is right now. So this guy, again, no chance that you could even compare. I would say it would be hard to recognize that is the same guy from 2021. Like this is that guy from 2021. Let me bring that up. This is the difference, right? Let me zoom that in. So you can like compare right? So the eyes, you know, at 4 months, like you don't have that problem anymore. But the problem that you really have after day 90 is that you have absolutely no clue how much the compound effect will start working in your favor if you just chill, if you just use your energy to look for things that make you better in some way, even if it's just socializing and drinking for the first year. That gives you social skills, that gives you the confidence because you got your first girlfriend and your second girl, and then, you know, it's very, like, you would think that it's like it's not linear, like some days I have it really good and then some days I feel like shit. But zoomed out on a long enough time frame, it's linear. It's it's not linear, it's exponential, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm showing you the pictures right here. That's why you need, like, you're playing the long game. If you actually want to change your life with NoFap, you're playing the long game. You're looking for those exponential increases in your life. And that's why, like, relapsing once a year versus never watching porn again and then having the pressure on you and then relapsing after 2 weeks, that's why that is stupid, because who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. NoFap is just a vehicle. It's supposed to make you get better and better and better until the point where you're exponentially improving because you have the more energy every single day. Like, I would say I have, at this point in my life, I probably have about 250% more energy than when I was on day 0 of NoFap. If you're on day 90, you might have 50% more energy. And the extra 200% didn't come from me not watching porn. It came from me training. It came from me doing loads of cardio, of me like conditioning myself to be able to talk for longer times, to be able to socialize better, to be able to be less stressed out in situations where I'm traveling abroad or where I'm, you know, with a girl or whatever. It's like I'm burning less energy, so I have more extra in my backpack. And it's just, as I said, it's exponential, guys. So the goal of this video is really to motivate one person, somebody who's watching this and is like, oh, I had a 90-day streak before, but I have been watching porn recently and it's been getting worse. I've been getting, watching like more and more intense stuff, and perhaps I should start my streak over. And I really hope that person watches this and is like, oh damn, maybe I should just get back onto it like right after. If I slip up, like right back to it, back to back 90-day streaks. That's the philosophy that I want you to take away. Learn the skills that makes it easy for you to restart your streaks, and also learn the skills that makes it simple to resist cravings, which I mention in every single one of my videos: meditation, journaling, and working out. No matter what type you do, like as you saw, I did martial arts. It was great for my confidence at the start, but now I want more concrete proof for the world that to see that I'm working hard. So now I'm doing the bodybuilding, and that will end, and then who knows, maybe I go back to boxing or something. But it really is about like expanding that energy that you have, because you will get more energy and you need to use it. Because if you don't use it, like, why are you even on NoFap, right? You need to use that energy to give yourself the advantage to live a happier life or be more productive, make more money, whatever your thing is, right? This is what NoFap is all about. And this is what people just, they don't really understand. They get lost in the days and counting the streaks. Like, bro, who cares? Just get on with it. Stop watching porn. Sure, like suffer for the first week, whatever, right? And then just get on with the stuff once the urges become manageable. And if you practice meditation, journaling, working out, they will become manageable It doesn't matter how long it takes. I mean, it depends how shit you are at doing it. And if you need help implementing these things, you can always ask for coaching. Just check the description. But really what it's about is like being able to develop the skills so you unlock this exponential growth. And so you can go from this guy on day 100, right, to this guy 4 years later, right? That's the real takeaway. And so obviously this is not just one good picture, guys, listen. And so at the end, right, at the end, this is me giving a speech to people. It's like public speaking. It's one of the hardest things to do, right? Although I'll say this is a bit corny because I don't have that problem. Like I don't have butterflies in my stomach before public speaking, but this is me speaking to an audience about digital hygiene and how to correctly set up your digital devices so you are more productive, right? So this is me 4 years later, and it's not like I'm here and I'm not going to improve even 1 or 2 months from now. It's going to be completely different. Do you see the resemblance? Is it even clear that this is the same person? Because I'm not so sure about that, right? And as I said, it's not like this is going to stop. And even if there is a dip, like if there is a part of like a depression or whatever, the exponential, it will be exponential on a long enough time frame. So yeah, guys, this is what I wanted to show you. And it is really just to motivate you to be able to, not just motivate, but actually give you the correct information when it comes to quitting porn. When you look at these pictures, I don't think you need any words to explain why NoFap is crucial. Just look at it. It's crazy. Yeah. And every day is like, it's more fun than the last, you know. It's because when you are improving at such a massive rate, everything is so different every year. And I could have never imagined like living abroad in like 2 years from now. And now I'm here, and it's like, who knows where I'll be in 2 years, right? So that is the big thing to take away from NoFap. Just stick with it for years and not months. And as long as you don't give in and relapse, which means like watch porn for months, instead you bounce right back when you slip up, right? Because you know, shit happens, people break up with you, or your mom dies, and I hope she won't, but you know, shit happens. You lose your house. Doesn't matter, no factor, get right back into it. That's the trick. That's how you get results like this. And also learn the skills that you need to learn in order to cope with the urges, guys. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna call it a day here. Thank you very much for watching. If you need help implementing quitting porn and digital hygiene, you can hit me up through the link in the description. Once again, Coach Nick signing out.